Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Traditions Weeks at Common Ground on the Hill. This is going to be an exciting concert this evening. It's going to be filled with lots of stuff that you're going to enjoy. Now, I saw my good friend Kerry Wolfson just today walking around the campus. I don't know how he got there. I don't know how I got there. And he told me that somehow the Red Rooster was going to be here tonight. Now, I don't know. I don't know. This stuff is beyond me. I'm too old. But I think Kerry Wolfson has never told me a lie. Kerry Wolfson, as you might know, was the editor and publisher of Blues Access magazine. For my money, the best blues magazine ever written, ever published. And he has a radio show. I'm sure that the Red Rooster might talk to you about that if we can find the Red Rooster. So I think the Red Rooster's here. Make welcome Blues Night at Common Ground on the Hill with the Red Rooster.
Come on, you guys, and especially you gals. The time is ripe to make your prowl. Your mama and your daddy, well, they're not looking. So put on your mask, slip out the house, and let's start cooking. The night is young and the hens are clucking. It's time for us to start our trucking to the jumpin'est spot in the heart of town. Yes, if you're feeling really fried from being locked down, turn up your ear trumpet and let your feet start to pound. Turn off your telephone, turn down the lights. For the next couple hours, everything's gonna be all right. If you got the quarantine blues, you don't have to lose them. When the Rooster's friends start to rockin', you'll be able to use them. Now it's guaranteed that you're gonna get way down when you step on in to the Red Rooster Lounge. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 24th annual Common Ground Blues Night at the Red Rooster Lounge. And I am indeed your host, the Red Rudy Tootster, host of the award-winning syndicated radio show, Blues from the Red Rooster Lounge since 1985. And we will be swinging, singing, and bringing your way some of the best and deepest sounds you have ever heard. We call it rooster music, music of the blue persuasion. And if you wonder what we mean by that, well, it's that special potion that tickles all your emotions to get your feet to tapping and your hips in motion. So be my guest. You got nothing to lose, because the Rooster Man is here to put you in the groove. Well, you know, I'm a big fan of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and now I can really relate to how he feels about the difference between playing to an in-person audience and one that you can't see and hear. So I hope that you will all applaud loud enough for all of us to hear it, for all the musicians, and laugh out loud at all my jokes. Let's get into the music here. Andy Cohen is a player and a scholar of early blues who befriended and learned from the likes of Reverend Gary Davis and Reverend Dan Smith. So let's get the musical groove started by heading to Memphis, Tennessee, where Andy is standing by. Here's Andy Cohen.
I do. I wanted to do something that was up and something that was optimistic. This is an old Sonny Terry song. He made it in the 50s. It's called Spreading the News Around. After a while, I won't be down. Back my feet after a while, spreading the news around. Back my feet after a while, I'll back my feet after a while, spreading the news around. Let me tell you people, something I want you to know. I get out this hole I'm in, down the road I'll go. Back my feet, I won't be down. trouble. So many people ain't free. Somewhere out in this big wide world, I know there's a place for me. Back on my feet after a while, I wanna be. Back on my feet after a while, spreading the news around. So many people in trouble, so many people ain't free. Somewhere out in this big wide world, I know there's a place for me. Down, I wanna be down, spreading the news around. Let me tell you people, something I want you to do. When you think that you're down and out, keep on punching through. Back on my feet, won't be down. Back on my feet after a while, spreading the news around. When I had plenty money, then I had lots of friends. Now I ain't got a doggone dime, it's just like a roll out in. Back on my feet, I wanna be down. Back on my feet after a while, spreading the news around. Back on my feet after a while, I wanna be. Back on my feet after a while, spreading the news around. At the top.
Well, in years past, we've been able to hold common ground in person, something we kind of took for granted. I know some people wondered what the musicians and instructors did after all the classes and the evening programs were over. Of course, we all just went straight to bed. Well, maybe not all the time. Susan Tom's RV, which she drove to Maryland from California, was a popular late night gathering spot. I shot this video in 2014 on my iPad mini with Sparky Brucker playing Andy's guitar, in fact, joined by Michael G. Ronstadt with the help of greater or lesser degrees from Guy Davis and a cast of the usual suspects on a song first performed by Sam Chapman of the Mississippi Sheiks. Take it away, Rex.
Action on this is killer.
This is what he plays.
Well, I told you should go. Don't come back no more. This is your last chance for shaking it in the bed with me. That's your partner now. Well, I told you to your face, I got another woman, take your place. This is your last chance for shaking it in the bed with me. Oh, Lord, won't you shake it, you can break it, hanging on the wall. Throw it out that window and catch it before it falls. Shake it, you can break it, hanging on the line. I don't want it, it ain't no love of mine. I told you in the spring, when the birds all began to sing, this is your last chance for shaking in the bed with me. Oh, you know that you kicked all the covers out on the floor. You better be glad you ain't gonna get to kick 'em no more. Wear your mini skirt above your knees. Now you selling that jelly, then you man you please. I told you in the fall, when I didn't have no little woman at all. This is your last chance for shaking it in the bed with me. Oh, shake it now, Mike. man you giving that jet at any man you please. I saw you in the fall when I didn't have no woman at all. This is your last chance for shaking in the bed. Last chance for shaking in the bed. Last chance for shaking in the bed with me.
Sparky Rucker, joined by Mikey Ronstadt on the cello. I saw Steve Bloom back there playing with the percussion, and Guy Davis on the harp and guitar, Pam Zappardino on the camera, and Susan Tom in the background there too, and Susan's RV, a great gathering spot for all of us that we miss being in. In fact, Susan just sold it. Next up, I first met Mary Flower years ago when she was living in Denver and playing in an all-women band called the Motherfolkers. Mary has moved on to Portland, Oregon, but it's always a delight when we can have her here at Common Ground. Like Andy Cohen, she was greatly influenced by Reverend Gary Davis, and I'm sure he'd be proud of the awesome picture she has become. Her latest CD is called Living with the Blues Again. Here's Mary Flower.
Thank you, Carrie. It's great to see you again. How are things in Colorado? Come out and visit sometime in the wetlands here. It's great to see all these faces. I never made it to the RV. I heard about the parties, but I guess I always thought I had to get up too early to teach to go to a party at 2 in the morning, but now I see what I missed. I have a feeling there was a little alcohol involved there. It looks like a lot of fun. So anyway, I thought I'd write a little tune from it's the newest song that I've written, a little instrumental called Pandemic Pickin'. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Well, thank you, Mary. It's great to see you again and your living room. In addition to Mary's own CDs under her name, I strongly advise you to pick up one called the Rag Pickers String Band that features Mary along with Rich Del Grosso and another good common ground friend, Martin Grosswent. It was my album of the year a few years ago. Mary Flower. Well, we don't have the McDaniel College dining hall to pick on this year, but after months being hunkered down, you're probably tired of your own cooking or those frozen TV dinners. We want you to know that the kitchen is open all night here at the Red Rooster Lounge, serving up blues burritos, 12-bar tacos featuring blue corn tortillas, and nachos a la Nancy with Miss Nancy's world-famous blueberry picante sauce. We got alligator chips with monkey dip, and you can always count on a side order of grease. Sorry, but you're not going to find any quiche or tofu on this here menu. Plus, until they run out, we have some extra servings of Miss Nancy's legendary grits and groceries toe jam pie, and it's all available for convenient curbside pickup. Well, when it comes to the blues, it's always a fine thing to give the ladies some, and we just did. And next up, we get the double dip. Shelley Enzer was the longtime conductor of the Common Ground Gospel Choir, along with leading church choirs in Baltimore County and singing with her group Sisters in Harmony. But she's one of those people who could sing the phone book and knock your socks off. And blues and soul is right in her wheelhouse. Joining Shelley tonight on piano is her mom, Alice Dorsey. Hi, Alice. And we want to welcome them back to Common Ground and let them tear it up for you. Shelley Enzer and Alice Dorsey.
What an honor to be with you tonight on Common Ground Blues Night. We're just going to give you a little number that Patti LaBelle released about, I think, in 1980, called "I Don't Go Shopping for Love." I don't go shopping for love. You're something money can't buy. I dream in colors and my dreams are always in shades of you. So I'm never blue. I don't go wishing on stars. Just want to be where you are. Too many times it felt so right, but it was just a lie. Now I see the light. I don't care nothing back for now. Now that I found out what it's all about, hear me shout, I'll sing it all up for you. And if you feel like I do, well, we're all overdue.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Alice. Great to see you both. Some of my best memories of Common Ground were in Shelley's gospel singing class. There were sopranos and altos and tenors, and I was in the dial tone section. Bob Lucas isn't exactly a notable blues man, but he did wake up this morning, and he's one hell of a songwriter, a very soulful performer, and a longtime Common Ground veteran. He's been involved in theatrical productions at his home in Ohio since the mid-1980s, and he's going to sing a song for you now. So here's Bob Lucas.
That's cool. I'm awfully glad you give me a chance to say hi. I sent a video over to Rex, and I think he's planning on playing it. Were you not, Rex?
I'm ready when you are.
Well, thank you. God bless y'all, and happy common ground. Happy common ground forever and ever. Oh, yeah. I love you. Oh, boy. Got this song. Trying to get her down for you. I'd really like to share it with you if I can. If I can. Why should I worry and wonder so? Where we come from, where we go. People say make it sound like a fact, and then they disappear down a one-way track. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, it doesn't matter where you are. Shine that light, don't be afraid. Go ahead, it's your parade. It's your mystery, hold on tight. Hope it keeps you warm at night. You're a miracle, plain and true. They never made beautiful better than you. Listen to the evening breeze whistling through the hackberry trees, singing a song to the ancient moon. Seasons come and gone and coming soon. It's your mystery, come what may. Never mind what the people say. People talk 'cause people do. Got nothing to do with you. It's your mystery, your unknown. Birthright you can call your own. To keep till your dying day. You can't buy or sell or give it away. The scientists tell, explaining things so very well. When they're done and when they're through, there's still no explaining me and you. It's your mystery, have no fear. Do not worry or shed a tear. The nightmares that you choose to dream or turn to fluffy clouds of steam. It's your mystery, don't run away. Shadow needs your light to play. Your mind is a movie screen. The future is so far unseen. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, doesn't matter where you are. Shine your light, don't be afraid. Go ahead, it's your parade, it's your mystery, hold on tight. Hope it keeps you warm at night. You're a miracle, plain and true. They never made beautiful better than you. That's all of it.
Thank you, Bob. Great to see you, man. Once again. Well, our next guest is someone I've known since he was the growing young son of my friend David Carrasco. He grew and grew and grew, and now he is Dr. Octavio Carrasco, an historian of American culture and music with a special interest in the processes of social change, cultural resistance, and religious imagination. He got his doctorate from Union Theological Seminary, where he studied with Cornel West, among others. He's traveled extensively in Guatemala, Spain, and the Czech Republic, and now calls Seattle, Washington his home. Tonight, he's going to share some thoughts on how music, specifically the blues, shapes and is shaped by social change. Would you please welcome Octavio Carrasco? Hi, Octavio.
Hello, everybody. It's very cool to be here with you, even as we are far apart. Perhaps driving home the importance of what common ground really is all about. And I, of course, want to just, extend recognition to our brother Walt Michael for making this happen for so many years, and for everybody that's been involved, as he put it, putting shoulder to wheel, and brought this about, everybody named and unnamed. And, I also want to recognize everybody that's participating in these uniquely perilous times. It's so funny not to be in Westminster, Maryland. We're in Seattle, and the sun is over the Olympics right now. It's an honor to be here, and I'm really pleased to see you all. And the rest of you I can't see, to see you in my mind. So thank you. And I want to begin with the words of Gil Scott-Heron when we think about the blues. He said, the blues are as American as apple pie, as American as the blues, as American as apple pie. The question is why? Why should the blues be so at home here? Well, America provided the atmosphere. And when we think about what blues music is and where it comes from and what role it serves in people's lives, I don't think it's a stretch to say that life is complicated, and our systems have made it more complicated. And the way that we, so much of our society is based on dividing us, setting us against one another, highlighting our differences, or putting people down based on something that they can't control or didn't ask for. And yet what's so important about music, potentially, is it creates a space in which we can potentially come together, where we can listen to and reflect what we hear and what we've heard and what we say. And perhaps most importantly of all, music becomes a space for people who have been systematically oppressed to reassemble themselves, put themselves back together. And it becomes a space both of resistance and assertion of our humanity, our shared humanity, which is so important. And Brother West he put it like this. He called it the painful laughter of the blues, the great art, the grand art, the blues, the tragicomic sensibility of keeping on against the odds, being down so long that down don't worry us no more and keeping on anyhow, and not allowing misery to ever have the last word. Because also so much of this is about survival, singing songs for survival, creating a space in which you can be the human being that you are, even if they're telling you that your humanity is not as valuable. And you don't need to be an eye doctor to see that the same problems that we've had the whole time in the United States of America are still problems, not just in the United States of America. It goes to all levels and all places. So for me, taking the blues seriously is about recognizing our history and taking responsibility for it. Even as blues music has deeply influenced all of rock music, all of hip hop music, all of popular music has a strain of the blues in it, just as the blues draws on the spirituals and the hymns and other songs that have brought us this far. And I want to just close with the words of my good professor, James Noel. He talked about the idea of joy. He said that Black people knew about joy because joy was something that cannot be taken away from you. It does not rely upon material objects or worldly success. Joy was something that you had inside of you. And so as we think about the blues, I want you to think about also blues and the joy together, the tragicomic sense that I believe will help sustain us in these times. I want to say thank you again and stay strong.
Thank you, Octavio. Good to see you, brother. It's been way too long. Well, Royce Anderson is another national man whose interest in life's ultimate questions has recently led him also to Union Theological Seminary. At Common Ground, he teaches classes on guitar and also dealing with diversity. Joining Royce is Davy Burkett, who has played the harmonica for over 50 years, anything from fiddle tunes to the blues. And I first met Davy in the early 70s at Walt's Old House in upstate New York when Davy was touring with Walt's band Bottle Hill. So let's give a good welcome to Davy Burkett, Royce Anderson.
When you got a good friend, have to stay right by your side. When you got a good friend, have to stay right by your side. Give her all your spare time, love and treat her right.
Thank you, guys. Davey Burkett on the harmonica, Royce Anderson on the guitar. Is Octavio still around?
Indeed.
I forgot to mention that you've got a weekly radio show. Why don't you just give us a heads up on that?
It's on KBFG Seattle 107.3 FM on your dial. You can find it by searching KBFG Listen on the internet. It's only here in North Seattle, and it's on Tuesday nights West Coast time at 7 p.m. and Saturday nights at 5 p.m. West Coast time. That's GMT -8, babies. Music for Perilous Times, the Flower Power Variety Hour.
Well, thanks, Octavio. I know we're all tuned into GMT, so we won't have any trouble figuring it out. But West Coast time, I think I know what that is. And by the way, I want to let you know that I indeed host Blues from the Red Rooster Lounge every week, and it's carried on 3 different radio stations. I know I have a lot of friends in Maryland, and it's on radio station WESM from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore on Saturday nights, I think at 9 o'clock, and also at that same time in the Chicago area on WDCB out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, and the College of DuPage, Glen Ellen, Illinois. So, and also I've got an archive of things, of shows at radiofreeamsterdam.org, which is a website run by our good friend John Sinclair, who is also a longtime friend of Common Ground and has been to Common Ground numerous times and was my managing editor when we were publishing Blues Access back in the 1990s. So there you go. Well, you know, one thing that makes the blues so special is that it comes from the soul of real people. Now, I know that some of you have got a very special kind of blues, but no need to worry. The Rooster's going to tell you who to call when you're in that very ticklish situation. You know, I mean, Red Rooster bail bonds, your get out of jail free card in the Monopoly game of life. Yes, when you know that they know. Well, then it's time to hot-foot it around the board to the intersection of Jim and Washington Streets before things get completely out of hand. Our friendly experts know exactly when to send you home with a smile and when to put you on the next plane out of town. So why get hung when you can get sprung? Go where the professionals go. Red Rooster bail bonds. Well, I know Jim Coons as the guy who always bails me out when I'm having equipment issues when I'm trying to teach my Common Ground blues class in Hill Hall, and also as a fellow traveler of the Golden Road laid down by the Grateful Dead. But Jim is also the director of the social work program at McDaniel College and a founding member of the Maryland Alliance for the Poor. In this particular time of social upheaval, Jim has found nourishment in the words of Frederick Douglass. I will let him tell you about it. Here's Jim Coons. Hiya, Jim.
Thanks, Red Rooster. And I must say that, well, I'm probably able to help out in the classroom on a couple things. Zoom and YouTube is it's a little bit beyond my ken. So
you're doing fine.
Thankfully, somebody else is running the show tonight. Sparky and Rhonda Rucker performed in one of the week 1 concerts leading up to July 4th. And in introducing their song, Sparky said that the blues are the poetry of slavery. The blues are the poetry of slavery. And that observation was part of the motivation for picking the reading I'm about to give. But the events of the past several months in reaction to the murders of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor also reminded me of a line from that reading. Oppression makes a wise man mad. Oppression makes a wise man mad. So in July of 1852, Frederick Douglass was asked by the Rochester, New York Ladies Anti-Slavery Society to speak in celebration of Independence Day. And his speech entitled, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July," is one of his most famous writings. And this July, NPR, National Public Radio, released an amazing video in which 5 of his descendants, 2 great-great-great-grandchildren and 3 great-great-great-great-grandchildren, ages 12 to 20, read excerpts from that speech and related it to their current experiences as young Black men and women in these United States. So I'd actually hoped to play that video tonight, but I was not able to get permission in time, and we were concerned that if we showed it, we might suddenly get kicked out of YouTube for a copyright violation, which I didn't realize could happen, but apparently can and has. So I'm gonna read these excerpts in place of these talented youth, while fully recognizing that I am neither as talented nor as young as they are. But I hope doing so will inspire you so that if you haven't already seen it, you'll get on YouTube, not now, maybe later tonight or tomorrow, and take a listen. Okay, so the reading. This is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom. Fellow citizens, I shall not presume to dwell at length on the associations that cluster about this day. The simple story of it is that 76 years ago, the people of this country were British subjects. Oppression makes a wise man mad. Your fathers were wise men, and if they did not go mad, they became restive under this treatment. With brave men, there's always a remedy for oppression. They succeeded, and today you reap the fruits of their success. The freedom gained is yours, and you therefore may properly celebrate this anniversary. Fellow citizens, pardon me, allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I or those I represent to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. Fellow citizens, above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions. Oh, had I the ability and could reach the nation's ear, I would today pour out a fiery stream of biting ridicule, lasting reproach, withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke. For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. The feeling of the nation must be quickened. The conscience of the nation must be roused. The propriety of the nation must be startled. The hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed. And its crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your boasted liberty, an unholy license. Your national greatness, swelling vanity. Your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence. Your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgiving, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Allow me to say in conclusion, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of the nation, I do not despair of this country. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Those are my words, not those of Frederick Douglass. He ended his speech, though, with hope, predicting the end of slavery. I don't know if he thought it would take another 13 years, nor that his heritage would last until today, almost 170 years later. So let me conclude by encouraging all of you to get on YouTube, put in the search terms, Frederick Douglass, What to the Slave is the 4th of July, and you should get to the NPR video with the speech recited by his impressive descendants. And more importantly, how they relate it to their present lives is extraordinarily powerful. While you're there, you might want to see a version recently posted by Democracy Now!, where the speech is read by James Earl Jones. I feel as though I'm preaching to the choir here at Common Ground, but I hope these words challenge and inspire you as much as they have challenged and inspired me. Black lives matter. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jim. And this is something we definitely need to be reminded of constantly, where this music came from and what it represents and the bigger, darker truths behind it. It's still fun, but we need to know that. Guitarist Christopher James is a past winner of the Baltimore Blues Society's Blues Challenge, and he was a finalist in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis, Tennessee. He has released 5 albums on his own, and Chris and I go way back to the very first Common Ground Blues night that we ever had back in 1997 in near the dining hall at McDaniel College. He's going to play his guitar and sing for you. Would you please welcome this talented player, Chris James?
Thank you, Carrie. It's wonderful to be here tonight and to see everybody and to hear everything that everybody's sharing. Very moving. I'd like to share this song of mine with you right here. That night, that first blues night, that was about less than a year after I had gotten back from Mississippi, leaving college to go down to Mississippi and play the blues and learn about blues. And I came back, and I tell you, it's ever since I went down to Mississippi, it was hard to understand how all those kind of things were happening in this country. And it was a real wake up. And I came back, and it seems like all these things that are happening, finally, all of a sudden, it seems like a lot of people are noticing something that's been here for a long time. So it's wonderful to be here, and thank you. Now I'll back up from the mic so I can get loud. Oh, Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders. My back is weary and my soul is sore. Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders, 'cause I don't know if I can bear anymore. When Jesus walked, he started to falter. He needed help to carry that cross. When Jesus walked, he started to falter. He needed help to carry that cross. Oh, Lord, please take weight from my shoulders. My back is weary and my soul is sore. Oh, Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders, 'cause I don't know if I can bear anymore. Or at least please send someone to help me, someone to be right by my side. Or at least please send someone to help me, so I know I could be satisfied. Well, I may seem so awful greedy, and I may be so full of doubts, but if you don't come when I whisper, Lord, you know I'm gonna shout. Or at least please send someone to help me, someone to be right by my side. Or at least please send someone to help me, then you know I could be satisfied. Well, I may seem so awful greedy, and I may be so full of doubts, but if you don't come when I whisper, Lord, you know I'm gonna shout. Oh Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders. My back is weary and my soul is sore. Oh Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders, 'cause I don't know if I can bear it anymore. Oh Lord, please take weight from my shoulders. My back is weary and my soul is sore. Oh Lord, please take this weight from my shoulders, 'cause I don't know if I can bear anymore.
Christopher James, thank you, Chris. I really look forward to being able to rock out with you at Joe Hanson's or somewhere on the main street of Westminster for Common Ground on Town. Hopefully we can get to do that again next year.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't think any of us can wait, but we're going to have to. Well, hey, if you're just plain frazzled after spending all day in the kitchen whipping up a big batch of pork riblets and powdered eggs, you know you need a little something to take the edge off. Sure, you could take a slug from that bottle of Pikesville rye that you stashed under the sink where the kids can't find it, but then you'd have to go to those damn AA meetings again. Instead, why not get your buzz on with Red Rooster brand mentholated reeferettes? Stay cool while you get high with Red Rooster brand. Now available in handy individual servings under the counter at the Common Ground store or in special retail packaging in Colorado and Washington State and all them other fine places that have made it legal. Just tell them that the Red Rooster sent you. All right. Well, our next artist is a truly lovely lady who is a past winner of the Blues Foundation Keeping the Blues Alive, Grammys of the Blues, for her historical work on women's contributions to our music. She's got a long history in civil rights, human rights work, and is the founder and director of Umoja Musica, an international effort promoting nonviolence, peace, and human rights, embracing the power and reach of African-American traditional music in union with the traditional music of other cultures. She currently serves as the congregational song and band leader for Govans Presbyterian Church. That is when she's not touring the US and Europe singing the blues. I'm so glad to see you again here, my dear. And we didn't even get to talk last year, but I'm glad that you are feeling better. And we want you to rip the lid off of this. Would you please welcome Leah Gilmore?
No pressure, right? Hey guys, I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here today. Octavio really touched my heart when he talked about the joy of this African American experience, that when we have joy, we know it can't be taken away from us. There's a song that says, "This joy I have, the world can't give it to me. The world can't give it, and the world can't take it away." And that's what we sing in a lot of our blues. So I'm going to sing a little bit about some love and joy and all that kind of stuff. So you sing with me if you know it. All right. Here we go. Let me tell you about a boy I know. He is my baby and he lives next door. In the evening when the sun goes up, he gives me coffee in my favorite cup. That's why I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. When I'm in trouble and I have no friends, when he goes with me into the end, everybody asks me how I know. I look at them and say, he told me so. That's why I know, hallelujah, I love him so. Now when I call him on the telephone and I I can count from 1 to 4. I hear him on my door in the evening when the sun goes down and there is nobody else around. He kisses me, he holds me tight. He says, Leah, everything's all right. That's why I know, hallelujah, I just love him so. All right, now my band is playing a solo. Do you see them behind me? The teddy bears over here on the horns. And when he calls me on the telephone, and I say, honey, I'm all alone. Before I can count from 1 to 4, I hear him on my door in the evening when the sun goes down and there is nobody else around. He kisses me, he holds me tight. He says, girl, you're all right. That's why I know, hallelujah, I love him so. Hallelujah, I love him so. Hallelujah, 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 I love him so. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Leah.
Thank you.
Good to see ya, Leah.
Thank you so much. I had a great time. So much talent here.
It's lots of fun. And it's lots of fun being together as we can be right now. Well, up next, Harry Orlov is a Los Angeles session guitarist who is highly sought after by anyone who likes hot licks and rude jokes. When I first met Harry in 1975, he was playing bluegrass banjo with Walt Michael and Bottle Hill, but he found a home with the guitar. And he's also been around since our very first blues night, and probably even before that, serving as band leader and arranger and disruptor of everything. So I want you all to please welcome to the stage, Harry Orlov. Hiya, Harry.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, sorry.
I hope everybody's hanging in. As for myself, except for the boredom and the existential dread, I'm doing pretty good. I think there's an upside to this, which is that I just got word today that my old one-man band is getting back together, so that should be pretty cool. And I was too chicken to do anything live. I sent in a video because I don't want to really mess up in front of all these talented people. So there's that. But I would like to say how terribly I miss all of you, and I miss Common Ground, and I miss Maryland. I even miss the humidity. But if it's Common Ground, it's Irish whiskey. So, sláinte. Rex, go ahead and roll my video, please. We recorded it in 1962. How did he know? If this life is driving you to drink, sit around wondering just what to think. I got some consolation, I'll give it to you if I find it. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. You know this world is just one big trouble spot, 'cause some have plenty and some have not. You know, I used to be trouble, but I finally saw the light there. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright.
Well, don't waste your time trying to be a go-getter. Things will get worse before they get any better. You know, there's always somebody playing with dynamite. But I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. And that's the truth.
And good to see you again, my buddy. I've been drinking a tall iced coffee as a pick-me-up, and now I've switched over to my favorite drink, mezcal, as a pick-me-down. So here's to you, man. All right. Well, earlier tonight in the video shot in Susan's RV, you saw Steve Bloom, at least a quick glance at Steve Bloom playing the brushes there on the table in Susan's RV. But Steve has played percussion professionally in thousands of performances and recordings in Middle Eastern and Persian, Cuban, Latin, Brazilian, Sephardic, jazz, blues, gospel, new age, and Celtic styles. That's pretty eclectic. He's known for his use of various hybrid drum kits too. If you've been to any of our live blues nights, you've probably seen him in the band playing a box-shaped percussion instrument called the cajon. Well, tonight we're going to see him playing with the Bill Baker Band. So let's check out this clip of the Bill Baker Band with Steve Bloom on percussion. Are you here, Steve? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I am here, and I can
I
say.
didn't know you were here. Welcome aboard, man.
Thank you. Well, you got those dark sunglasses on.
That's why I can't see any. I couldn't see Harry either.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I want to. Everybody's touched my heart with all what you're doing. Seriously, and Walt especially. Thank you for presiding over all of this. And if I may, I'd like to just preface what's coming up with a little. You got to have a beatful groove. You got to ride that groove where it goes. You sought what you got soul. You got to get the beat back, so let's go.
Once I walked this world alone, living quest of flesh and bone, searching the dark and hope to reveal the light of my life makes me real. Then came the day you came to me. You opened my eyes and set me free. You took my love and broke the seal, opened my heart and made me real. Your love came down like falling diamond from a heart shines like gold. 'Cause you are the light that chased the shadow. Still the night filled my soul. Was once I looked, now I see the precious child I'm meant to be. Reached out to touch, but now I feel that perfect love that makes me real. And as I close my eyes in slumber, and I lay me down and dream, there'll be no fear nor any wonder that all is well. And what it seemed was once I looked, now I see the precious child I'm meant to be. I reached out to touch, but now I feel that perfect love makes me real. That perfect love makes me real.
Steve Bloom on the percussion there with the Bill Baker Band. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you again, my man. And may we all be together soon. Well, to cap off tonight's great show, we have a 5-time Grammy-nominated keyboardist, accordionist, and vocalist who is equally great as a band leader and an incredibly tuned-in sideman. Really, Louis, you're the best sideman I know of. You managed to find the groove with anybody. He co-produced and played on numerous albums by rock and roll legends, The Band, and now heads up his own crew, Professor Louis and the Chromatics, whose most recent CD is Miles of Blues, which is especially notable for its superb liner notes written by the Red Rooster.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
Now I count everyone you've seen here tonight as a close and dear friend, even if we only get to see each other once a year or less. It's a joy to be among all of you again. Louis in particular has been my apartment mate at Common Ground for years, and we've had some great adventures together, shared a lot of amazing music. Would you please welcome Professor Louis, and we hope he's going to get a bit rambunctious for us.
Oh, wow. I hope so.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Much. Yeah, I hope so. Well, it's up to you guys and Rex. I did send 2 in.
Go for it. Go for it.
That'd be good. That would be good if we're going to do that. Well, it's great to see everybody, even if everybody's in little squares. Yeah, but it's better to see in little squares than not at all. And I got to thank everybody, as always, for being so supportive of everything we all do. And it makes us feel great, Miss Marie and myself. And, you know, I'm hoping we see each other in person next year so we can sit in Susan's, you know, RV and have a good time. And, Carrie, I do want to thank you for those great liner notes, because it's been quoted all over, you know, and they review you. The reviewers never have imagination, so they can just write the liner notes. Best. But anyway, I want to thank you so much. So, Rex, do you have Rambunctious queued up? I hope so.
What I'd like to play now is
No, we don't.
a song I produced for the
Second
band.
one. called Orange Juice Blues when I was producing a box set called The Great Divide, and there were 3 discs in the box set, and I had the chance to produce the 3rd disc and found this really odd tape of a song that Richard Manuel wrote. And some people say it was on the Basement tapes, but actually I was the first one to put it on this Great Divide, and then they added it to the Basement tapes. There could have been some other versions, but this version that I found was the band's original demo that they made for Columbia Records when they were trying to get a record deal, and Albert Grossman produced it. And we took it and we've rearranged it. It's called, and it's written by Richard Manuel, called Orange Juice Blues. I've had a hard time waking this morning. I got a lot of things on my mind. Like these friends of yours, they keep coming around, bringing me down all the time. I've had a hard time waking most mornings, and it's been that way for a month or more. You've had things your way, and I've got to say, I ain't coming back no more. Why don't you get right? Try to get right, baby. You haven't been right with me. Why don't you get right? Try to get right, baby. Don't you remember how it used to be? You've had a hard time waking most mornings, and I could see it by that empty look in your eyes. Now there's no sense in talking or walking round the block just to figure out the reason why. I've had a hard time handing out warnings, so I guess I'll just slip out your door. 'Cause I'm tired of everything being beautiful, beautiful. I ain't coming back no more. Why don't you get right? Try to get right, baby. You haven't been right with me. Why don't you get right? Try to get right, baby. Don't you remember how it used to be? Well, here I am at my own recording studio. Sorry I'm not at Common Ground, but the one advantage I have at this point is I have my Hammond organ that was really my first instrument. And in playing in clubs, when we used to play clubs and play 5, 6 sets a night, you'd be playing for dancing all night long, but we'd always have a break song, and in that break song, we'd be able to play whatever we wanted, and people would stay on the dance floor and dance along. So Bill Doggett was one of our favorite instrumentalists, and he was a great organist, and we would take some of his songs and make our own arrangements. So what I'd like to play for you right now is one of those old songs. We changed the arrangement, a Bill Doggett arrangement, used this as a break song, and people would dance all night long to it, and I've always kept these break songs in for fun in our repertoire. So on the Hammond organ, this is a song called Rambunctious.
Well, thank you so much, Louie, and hi to you and the lovely Miss Marie up there in Woodstock, New York. I truly can't wait until we all get to hang out together again, along with Miss Nancy. I want to tell you that coming up on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be doing a presentation at the Search for Common Ground class. It's on my journey to and through the blues. And maybe Walt will be able to tell you how you can tune into that one when he does his wrap up tonight. Well, how quickly the time does pass when you're playing the blues, and already those mists, well, they have begun to congeal around the corner of Jim and Washington streets, and the entrance to the Red Rooster Lounge, well, it begins to fade into the night. Yes, it does. But don't despair, little darling, because assuming we all survive this insanity and put the virus and Donald Trump to rest, we will be back with you. So until that time, well, this is the Red Rudy Toot Tootster reminding you to keep hold of your soul and join us again next year for another great night of blues from the Red Rooster Lounge at Common Ground on the Hill. And if this is your first experience of Common Ground, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all the amazing performances, talks, and classes, which are archived there. You can also go to our website, which is commongroundonthehill.org, to find out about our other programs. And of course, we'd love to have you join us at all our live events whenever we get to congregate in person again. Before we go, I need to give special thanks to Rex Riley for handling all the technical details tonight, and there's a lot of them. And of course, to Walt Michael, without whom this wonderful program would never have existed, as well as Maria Wong and Matt Vinson, who have been coordinating a million other details and putting out fires throughout all 3 weeks that this has been going on. We love you guys, and we're out of here.
Red Rooster, Red Rooster. If any of you would like to find the Red Rooster tonight, I understand he's hanging around the cafeteria door, waiting to get in that early morning food. I know he loves the grub. Well, what a great night. And it was so wonderful to see everyone and to hear everybody playing. Everybody's at the top of their game. I guess it's from all the rest we've been getting in our pads, as it were. I do want to remind you that tomorrow night is a great concert, which is also archived. It's the Search for Racial Justice Through Song and Story, and it features Tim Porter, Shelley Enzer, and Alice Dorsey, Roxana Harlow, Leah Gilmore, Guy Davis. It's an amazing show, and storytelling by Sheila Arnold. It's a powerful show, and I recommend that you see it and you refer it to others. And on Friday night, we have Mandolins on the Hill, some of the greatest mandolinists in the world, frankly. We have people from Russia. We have none other than Jerry Lee Mitterhoff, who played with a number of great bands, including Hot Tuna, and Wayne Fugate, who just got off the road with Steve Martin. It's really going to be a great show. And Radim Zenkel from the Czech Republic and California. So don't miss that show. That's going to be a good one, and that will be our final show. But remember, all of these things are online on the YouTube channel. We're really excited about heading down that YouTube road. So ditto my thanks to everyone. It was really wonderful to see all of you. And hey, share the love. Over and out.